There is a lot going on in the world right now. Even if you don't follow every headline, you can feel it. There's uncertainty, economic shifts, predictions that keep changing, interest rates that didn't drop like we were hoping they would. And when things feel uncertain, it's natural to hesitate. So you may be thinking, maybe I should wait. Maybe next year will be clearer. Maybe things will settle down. And that sounds responsible. But here's the question that rarely gets asked. What exactly are you waiting for? Because waiting without a defined outcome turns into drifting. And drifting costs momentum. Now, this is not pressure to make anyone make a decision they're not ready for. It's about making sure your decision whether to buy or wait is based on your life, not the news cycle. Now, the world has always had uncertainty. Let's zoom out for just a second. How certain will the world ever really be? There's always been something happening. Economic changes, political tension, global events, market adjustments, even local tragedies. If you wait for total certainty before making a move, you may be waiting forever. And here's something important. Buying a house doesn't depend on national news reports. It depends on you, your income, your stability, your savings, your debt, your comfort level, and your timeline. Interest rates in the housing market are part of the equation, but they are not the entire equation. Remember, waiting alone is not neutral. A lot of people treat waiting like it's a safe middle ground, but it's not neutral. While you wait, rent continues, prices may move, and inventory changes, neighborhoods evolve, and your savings will either grow or it won't. Now, sometimes waiting is strategic. Sometimes it absolutely makes sense, but sometimes waiting is just discomfort with uncertainty. And those are two very different things. Now, there are three strategic reasons to wait. If you're going to wait, it should be tied to something measurable. For example, number one, you're strengthening your financial position. Number two, you're waiting for job or location stability. And number three, you're building reserves or improving your credit. Those are strategic reasons. But I'm waiting for rates to go back to 3%. Well, that isn't really a strategy. It's comparison. And comparison to 2020 and 2022 can quietly create paralysis. Those historically low rates were extraordinary. They were not normal. Comparing today to an anomaly makes today feel worse than it actually is. Now, here's a better question. Instead of asking, is the world stable enough for me to buy? Ask instead, how stable am I right now? How secure is your income? How confident are you in your job? How strong are you in your savings? How long do you plan to stay in the area? What would actually improve your daily life right now? Because people are still buying, people are still selling, and families are still moving forward. Real estate doesn't stop because headlines feel heavy. What about the equity question that no one's talking about? Every year you delay, if you're financially ready, is another year paying someone else's mortgage instead of building your own equity. Now, that does not mean renting is wrong, so please don't misunderstand. Renting can be smart in certain seasons, but the decision should be based on math and lifestyle, not fear. What works best for you? Stability, flexibility, ownership, mobility? That answer is personal and it's not headline driven. Now let's bring this to a local level. Here in the Shreveport-Bossier area, our market behaves differently than some of the higher volatile national markets. We tend to see steadier movement, less dramatic swings, more gradual adjustments. So waiting for some dramatic collapse without local evidence may not be realistic. That doesn't mean timing doesn't matter. It means local data matters more than national noise. And that's why having someone to help you get in touch with the local market instead of guessing based on national headlines can completely change your clarity, because fear shrinks when information grows. So let's define your trigger. If you're going to wait, define what would make you move forward. Is it a savings milestone? Is it a debt payoff target? A credit score improvement? A lease expiration? Or even a job anniversary? Waiting without a defined trigger turns into indefinite delay. Waiting with a defined milestone builds leverage. There's a big difference. Now here's the middle ground. You don't need perfect timing. You need strong positioning. If your income is stable and your debt is manageable and your payment will fit comfortably within your lifestyle, and if you plan to stay long enough to absorb normal market shifts, then the bigger question isn't, should I buy now or wait? It's what decision supports my life best right now. Because certainty doesn't come from the outside world. It comes from internal stability and the fact that you are the expert on your own life. Now, live your life. Assess your situation. Make decisions based on what's directly in front of you, not projections, speculation, or fear. People are still buying, still building equity, and still moving forward. Don't let headlines dictate your personal timeline. Your timeline belongs to you. Now, if part of that timeline has you thinking about whether or not you want to make a move to the Shreveport-Bossier area, well, I have created a relocation guide just for you. You can click on it in the link below and download it for free. It's going to help to make your move more smooth and informed. Now, here's the piece that matters even more than timing. Even if you decide it's the right season for you, how much house should you actually buy? Because buying at the top of what you qualify for versus at the top of what feels comfortable are two completely different decisions. So if you haven't watched my video on how much house can you really afford, and it may not be what the bank is telling you, watch this next. Because timing matters, but affordability protects peace. Now, if the video doesn't show up here like it's supposed to, YouTube, I have also put a link for it in the description below.